Welcome to KMVT Television and our show, In Our Community. I am Joe Head. Joining me today is Elizabeth Medina, Senior Services Director at Community Services Agency.
Hello.
So Elizabeth, Community Service Agency, probably not a really well-known name, so start us with a little background and give us a kind of Community Service Agency 101.
Sure, that sounds fine. Community Services Agency is a nonprofit that has actually been in the community for almost 60 years. What we do is we focus on providing safety net services for the residents of Mountain View, Los Altos, and Los Altos Hills. Specifically, what we do is we try to promote stability, self-sufficiency, and dignity for those individuals that might be going through a difficult time in their lives. And we go about that by providing a hand up as opposed to a hand out.
So a safety service net agency, what kind of services are in the safety net or available to it, and how do you deliver those?
Absolutely. Community Services Agency actually has 3 different case management programs and 2 food programs that are focused on providing resources and services for the individuals in the community. Our emergency assistance program is specifically for families and individuals that are housed that are having, as the name suggests, emergencies. It's kind of as needed basis kind of services. We're talking once in a lifetime rental or utility assistance, getting shoe vouchers for children who are going to be starting school, and during the holidays offering extra food services as well. Our Alpha Omega Homeless Services provides case management for those individuals and families that are homeless. Homeless can be just anything that's unstably housed, from everything from living in a car to just couch surfing from one family member to another. And the main focus of that program is going to be for getting those individuals into stable housing. You can imagine it's very hard to focus on anything when you don't have a stable housing situation, don't have a roof over your head. The Senior Case Management Program, for which I'm the program director, we're going to be talking a little bit more about later, but that's specifically focused for individuals who are 60 years of age and older, and going to be focusing on long-term case management for those individuals, really wanting to focus on the issues that are impacting them now and the issues that might be impacting them in the future.
So let's go a little more into the immediate needs program, and then we'll come to the seniors, and I'll do some self-identification.
Absolutely.
There for you. On the immediate needs program, do you have an office here in Mountain View?
We do. It's just right off of Sterling Road, and we're really proud of the fact that we're conveniently located right by the train station, the light rail station, bus stops. It's really important because not all of our clients have cars, and so being accessible to the members of the community is particularly important to us because we also house our food pantry at the location. Our food pantry is one of the food resources that I mentioned, and that's open 5 days a week. And it's like a little tiny supermarket that we have there inside of the agency where, as I mentioned, promoting dignity. Our food pantry is not simply filling up a bag and here you go. It is actually allowing our clients to shop off of the shelves like they would at any kind of supermarket. And those shelves are actually stocked by donations from local farmers markets, Costco, Sprouts, Whole Foods, Safeway. You know, it's good, solid food, and we really do focus on the nutrition that we can provide to our clients.
So your staff is there pretty much 5 days a week as
Yes.
a regular, and someone can contact you initially via phone?
Yes. They can stop by the office, they can call on the phone. And really, with any question that they might have, there's going to be somebody at the office that's available to say, it sounds like your situation would be better suited for this particular program or that particular program, depending on what their needs are.
So let's say in this, you know, the safety net.
Yes.
I'm not very good. My English isn't good. So are there people there that can handle other languages? And if so, which ones do you usually experience?
Definitely. We have wide range demographic over at Community Services Agency. We have case managers that speak Spanish. I myself am completely fluent in Spanish and can provide case management in Spanish. We have also a Tagalog-speaking case manager. Unfortunately, I don't know any Russian or Mandarin, although I would love to. But our demographic of those visiting the agency, it just, again, runs the whole spectrum. And it's a huge benefit for our clients to be able to speak in their own languages, to be able to talk about the things that are worrying them in their lives, and to receive services in their languages as well. So we're actually very proud of the fact that we can offer case management in languages other than English.
Okay, so let's shift then to your specialty, which is in the seniors area.
Yes.
So talk a little about the services that you work on specifically, and then let's see if I can self-identify with
Sure.
one, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. The Senior Case Management Program focuses on free long-term case management for seniors that are 60 and older and living in Mountain View, Los Altos, and Los Altos Hills. And those requirements that I just listed, 60 plus of age, living in our service area, and we want to make sure that the individual is living independently. That doesn't mean they live alone. It just means that they're not living in a skilled nursing or assisted living facility. And really our main focus is to keep those seniors living in their homes for as long as possible. We want to prevent any kind of premature institutionalization, and we want to reduce the rate of rehospitalization for those seniors.
So let's say I'm living alone.
Mm-hmm.
I do fit your over 60 demographic. And I get a little confused about my medication.
Yep.
I've got 3 or 4 I've got to take, and sometimes they're in the morning, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you get involved with?
Absolutely. The Senior Case Management Program not only provides services into the home, but also we, the case managers ourselves, do nutritional assessments, fall risk assessments. We would be aware and communicating directly with physicians. And we also have a subdivision of our Senior Case Management Program that's called our Intensive Case Management Program, where we actually have a nurse case manager on staff that would be available to even go so far as to see exactly what you're taking. Are you maybe taking something with another medication that shouldn't be? Or maybe you're taking too many medications. Maybe your doctor hasn't recently looked at your list. The nurse can get onto the phone and speak directly with the nurse or the doctor and say, hey, can we go over this list again? And that kind of advocacy is really important for our seniors, because some of them feel as if they have no voice at the doctor's office, and being able to have someone helping to speak for them and answer questions is really, really important.
So when I see you, am I going to see you in your office mostly, or will you come to my home? I mean, how does that work out?
We actually do whatever the individual is comfortable with. We love to go to the home so that we can get a real life picture of what's going on, and we get the lay of the land, and we can do our full biopsychosocial assessments. But if someone feels more comfortable or is a little bit more active, they can come have an appointment at our office. And we even meet up with individuals over at the Mountain View Senior Center. What's really great about that too is when we meet there, we're actually able to introduce them to our second food program, which is the senior nutrition program that operates out of the Mountain View Senior Center.
So if you could kind of take something that happened, let's say this week, and describe it for me, keeping in mind the confidentiality of people who talk to them. But
of course, we take confidentiality.
What it's like, different than what I've asked you.
Sure, we take confidentiality very seriously. So all names change to protect the innocent. But we recently had a woman who, because she did not have insurance, medical insurance, through chronic medical conditions, got a very high amount of debt of medical bills. Unfortunately, that happens a lot, and what our case managers were then able to do is to, one, get her on some kind of health insurance, and we actually managed to get her on that health insurance where she was only paying $1 a month. And then we're also able to speak directly with the hospitals, multiple hospitals that she had outstanding bills in, and talk to their charity programs to reduce and in some cases completely eliminate the bills that she had that was due.
And you work directly with our mystery guest lady here.
Absolutely,
Okay, so
yeah.
and had you met with her before? Was she familiar? Were you familiar so she felt confident?
Absolutely. Building a rapport and our seniors feeling comfortable, all of our clients at CSA feeling comfortable with us. We serve over 6,000 clients a year. And so we know
just here in the three communities you
just in the
mentioned, our
three cities that I mentioned, here in our community. And you don't get those kinds of numbers unless people trust you, and word of mouth is particularly a big deal for us. People would not be talking to their neighbors or their family members about our services unless they felt very confident about the type of services we were providing.
So take the person we've just talked about. How long ago did she first make contact with Community Services Agency?
Well, she actually made contact with us about a year ago, and people can remain on our program for multiple years. It completely depends on the individual how long they'd like to have their case open for. But the important thing here is that when we first met with her and we saw these issues, these were the first ones we went to. You know, the outstanding bills, because of course if you've got debt, then you're not buying your groceries or your medication. But making sure that we're addressing those issues initially. And then every 6 months, default, we go back and we do another full-blown assessment to make sure that we're A, taking care of the things we need to, and B, looking at new issues that might rise up. So this individual has been with us now for about a year, and constantly we're getting, you know, if there's something in the mail that she's receiving that she doesn't quite understand, applications for renewal for benefits that she doesn't know how to fill out. If she's having difficulty, maybe she got assigned a physician with her new insurance and she doesn't really like them, and addressing that, you know, right off the bat so that she's not experiencing appointment after appointment where she's feeling neglected.
In the people you work with, are most of them actively mobile so that they could either take transportation, they could drive to see you, or are they tend to be homebound? How does that work?
It varies. I will say that the majority of our seniors end up having transportation issues and mobility even within their own homes, which is why we do try to focus the most of it as home visits. We don't want to ever make anyone feel that just because they can't hop on the bus or pop into their car that they can't receive services. And you know, the majority of individuals are able to either with a walker or a cane navigate through their home, and then some of them are actually able to drive over to the agency to their doctor's appointments.
Okay. So let's talk about a little, do you interrelate with much with medical staff?
We do, absolutely. The hospitals are a huge source of our referrals. Fire and police and physicians and family members. We work with all existing parts of the support system for that individual, and the medical facilities are a large part because what could be more important to someone that's aging than their health?
Okay. I think the important thing that I've heard is that right here in our own community is a tremendous resource for assistance, and we've focused most of our conversation on those of us that are over 60. It's detailed, it's professional, it's
free.
caring, and those are all things done by community members here with a separate board of directors focused in the three communities, Mountain View, Los Altos Hills. I encourage you to make contact with community service agencies, with Elizabeth, for support or questions you might have, or people in your family or people that you know that need assistance. An important resource is here, and we would like to get the word out so that it's comfortable for you or someone you know to make that contact and to receive the service. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a really enjoyable time.
Absolutely, thank you.
It's just been great to have you with us, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to KMVT15. This is in our community. I am Sonia, and here with me is Rob Zeroun. Rob, it's a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
And you are with Nameless Enemy. Why don't we start to tell us, the viewers here, what's Nameless Enemy?
Nameless Anime is an anime club. It's our club that we run at the Santa Clara City Library. We meet every second Saturday of the month, and yeah.
So how long have you been with Nameless Anime?
I've been going to Nameless Anime for quite a few years now. Nameless Anime itself has only been going on for about 2 years. Before that, it was a club called No Name Anime, which started way back when, about 20 some odd years ago, in Foothill College, actually.
Okay.
And from its humble beginnings has transferred from colleges to public libraries and has been rolling along ever since, changing staff as it goes.
Wow, it's been a while. So I had the pleasure to visit your club just last Saturday, and it was really interesting because I grew up with Japanese anime. I love it, but I haven't seen this for a while since adulthood. So thanks for putting this together, but I wonder, how do you select all those animes?
Well, our main criteria is it has to be appropriate for 16-year-olds or less.
Okay.
Nothing over that.
Okay.
And that's basically all the criteria the librarians gave us. And so from there we went, okay, what do we own?
Okay.
And because we don't want to worry about having to pay rights for anything. So it's like, okay, if it's something we actually own on disc, then we don't have to worry about getting permission, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question.
And we just try to figure out from there, does it have appropriate content? It is a little difficult because Japanese anime has a tendency to be have different content that's appropriate for Japanese society versus American society.
Okay.
For example, you have a lot more nudity in lower age range shows that's considered appropriate for the show in Japan, but in the US, maybe not so much.
Really? That's why I understand totally opposite. I thought it would be appropriate here, not in Japan. Okay, so I didn't see enough. Maybe I should go back to see. Do you have anything that you want to talk about to the anime fans out there? And what would you like to let them know about your club so that you can welcome them to visit?
Well, we're always looking for more anime fans to join us, or even new fans. Sometimes we even get families and stuff. It's quite fun.
Okay. Yeah, I was there, and I saw there are lots of snacks, lots of friendly people.
People bring their own snacks. They bring snacks to share with other people sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, that's even better. I'll bring my famous, which to be determined. So how is the... I know this is a volunteer position, so I just wondering, putting together this must take you a lot of time. So what's your... How do you find the passion and time to do this?
Well, the secret is always delegation.
Okay.
To get other people to help you out with stuff. So I basically supply the shows. I make the flyers, which is our current location. That was our one requirement, is age-specific shows and make flyers.
Okay.
And so I make all the flyers and make the schedule. And we have other staff members that help run the equipment or do our newsletters, or even upkeep our websites, our Facebook page, or our Yahoo group page as well.
Okay. So I know only meeting once a month. So how many people usually showing up in the club?
We usually have about 20 people at a time.
Okay.
We can get up to 30 people.
Okay.
On a really good day.
On a really good day. So speaking of delegation, do you looking for any volunteers?
We're always looking for volunteers.
Okay. So how do people find you?
They can find us on our Facebook page.
And which is?
At Nameless Anime.
Okay.
If you search for Nameless Anime, it should be on the screen.
Okay. So, I have to bring this newsletter with me, and this is very interesting, especially like quote of the month. And this is from my favorite movie. I believe that's Avenger. Tony Stark say, "What's the vibrant for?" Ultron say, "I'm glad you asked that because I wanted to take this time to explain my evil plan." So how do you come up with this newsletter? Are you the editor?
I'm not the editor. That's actually the person who puts it together for us is the editor. And basically what he does is he takes articles from online.
Okay.
And from other news sources and post them with credits, of course, posting the original sources, and that's his sources of our articles, as well as anime releases for the month.
Oh.
We usually have a list of conventions in the areas,
Okay.
events in different areas.
Okay.
Like sometimes Japantown in certain areas of town will have special events or festivals,
Okay.
as well as staff selections that are usually non-anime related.
Okay. So
sometimes.
you talk about conventions. Can you talk more about the conventions?
Well,
Here
one
in
of my favorite conventions is actually Fanime, and the fun part about that is it's in the middle of downtown San Jose,
Okay.
so it's probably the closest one to me.
Yes. And when will that be?
That is actually in May and Memorial Day weekend, so you just
Okay.
missed it.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
so were you there?
I was there.
So do you want to talk about this?
It was really fun.
Okay.
The one thing I really like about conventions is it's a great way for fans to get together and meet other fans.
Okay.
And one of the things I really like about anime is it's kind of a fan base where, although it's generalized as everyone is an anime fan, you can have sections. So like I have a friend I work with actually that he's just a fan of hardcore science fiction shows.
Okay.
Ones that have realistic depictions of the future and where we might be taking our technology.
Okay.
Also giant robots, but you know, people are working on that nowadays. So.
Right.
And there's people that like costumes, and they'll be dressed up in all kinds of costumes. If you're in downtown San Jose on Memorial Day weekend, you'll see all kinds of people running around the streets in all kinds of crazy costumes with usually giant swords or wings or some other...
Yeah, I'm so glad you bring up the costume because I saw you promised me you will dress up today. But I know time is not allowed. But why don't you tell me about your favorite costume or character that you like to play?
I'm kind of a not so serious cosplayer. There's a lot more serious cosplayers out there than I am. One of my favorite characters, though, to dress up as is Hideki from Noriyama Daikon Brothers,
Okay.
which is the only anime that I know of is actually musical. And the creator of it actually went out of his way. It's like, wait a minute, there's no animes that are musicals. I need to make one right now.
Wow. That is so
And
cool.
so he made one, and he made it as ridiculous as he could possibly make it. It might not be for everybody, but it's a real easy costume.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gathering ideas for my Halloween costume. That's the only time once a year I will wear costume. So how about for your club? Because I was only there for once, you only met once a month. So what are the people there? What kind of people that attract to your club? And do you have any specific target group that you want to invite?
Well, we're hoping for mostly teens because
Okay.
it's technically a teen program. But we get all age ranges. We've our last meeting we had kids as they look like as young as 10 or so to their parents.
Okay.
So we get all age ranges, and we try to accommodate all kinds of different shows. So you can just come for your favorite show or stay for the whole program.
You said this is a team program. So is this by a library program?
We are supported by the Santa Clara City
Okay.
Library.
Okay.
They basically give us the room, so that's all we ask,
Okay.
and we're happy with it.
All right. So since you mentioned this is for teen program, do you encourage people, like, does this benefit for the teenagers nowadays to watch those anime? Do you think that will help them to?
Well, don't tell them, but
Okay.
our secret mission is, our real mission is to have fun, of
Okay.
course. But our secret mission is it introduces them to Japanese culture because it's a gate. It's like a window into Japanese culture, and they learn things that they wouldn't normally learn.
Okay.
And also, all of our showings are subtitled with the original Japanese dialogue. So if they pay attention, they'll actually learn Japanese, or at least to a certain extent, and they might want to go along and actually take it as a seriously and try to seriously learn the language.
So do you speak Japanese?
Not very well.
Huh. Well, I
Well,
understand. I took Japanese for 4 years in my college time, and learning other language is not easy, but it was fun.
I know much vocabulary, but not enough to actually hold any decent conversation.
But you said this is a club for learning language for teens and to get
secretly. Don't tell them that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not fun anymore, right?
Fun.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of fun, do you have any other events outside the meeting time?
We always, if there's a thing in the area, we always try to say, hey, why don't you come over? There is a Japantown in San Jose.
Okay.
Not many people know that, but they do have all kinds of festivals there.
Okay.
And they have their own website as well. I think it's San Jose Japantown or something like that, where you can find their listing of their festivals.
Okay.
I think the next one they might be having is Oban, but that's not for a couple of months. There is a couple of other conventions in the area, or in California, I should say. Next month, there's going to be a convention in Sacramento.
Okay.
SAC Anime.
Okay.
As well as Anime Expo.
Okay.
Which is in San Diego, and it's actually the largest anime convention in the entirety of the United States.
Oh, wow, really?
In comparison, Fanime is the third largest.
Wow, that is interesting. So are you going to any of them?
I might try.
Okay. So don't you talk about your next program? So next one, it will be the second Saturday in July.
Yes.
What is the program lineup?
Let's see, the program lineup, we have our usual program. So we're not going to, their last program we had a special movie.
Okay.
Which was really helped boost our attendance, but a lot of families turned out for that one. This one is, we're going back to a regularly scheduled program. We're going to be doing Natsume's Book of Friends, which is great for general audiences.
Okay.
It's about a boy named Natsume who can see spirits.
Oh,
and
I know that one. That is good.
For the longest time, since he's the only one that can see them, everyone just thought he was crazy, and he's been pushed from family to family.
Yes.
And now he's living with a foster family who has his grandmother's possessions. Turned out she could see spirits too.
Wow.
And she went to the trouble of recording all their names.
Right.
Because if you record a spirit's name, you can control them.
Wow.
And so
I think that would draw a lot of people.
He decides to give them all back.
Yes.
If he can.
So we only have a couple seconds left. Do you want to tell people again what's the location and the meeting time so we can all join you?
Santa Clara City Library.
Okay.
Second Saturday of the month.
Okay.
And we start the program at 12, and we usually go to about 4-ish.
Okay. Bring snacks. So thank you for watching. I'm Sonia, and I'll see you when I see you.